Hello and welcome, you lovely, amazing people, to episode 197 of the Filmmakers Podcast. This, if you don't already know, is a podcast where we talk filmmaking. I nearly forgot what I was going to say then. We talk filmmaking from indie film to studio films and everything in between. How to get them made, how to make them, and how to try to F it up in our very humble opinion. I am Giles Alderson. I'm a writer, director, and a producer, and I'm joined today by...
I'm Robbie McCain, director, producer.
And today's episode, we have the amazing James Kermack. Now, James was on episode 21, which was really early days.
Classic Filmmakers Pod. Vintage, for those of you who are in the know.
So yeah, for those of you who listened from the very beginning, you know this episode. If not, go back and listen. It is amazing. But what we do today, we don't delve into his history because we already did that. So if you want to listen to episode 21 about James Kermack and his history about how he got to where he is, listen to that episode, because today we talk directly about his brand new feature film, Knuckledust. And we talk specifically about how he went from making his first feature, High-Low Joe, which was pretty much a micro-budget feature film, pretty much made on nothing, to making a $2 million feature for his second film.
I love these kind of episodes because we really get to zero in on one piece of work and get into the nitty-gritty details, which I know lots of you out there love. So we talk about how he wrote Knuckledust before his debut High-Low, and we talk about why he chose to make High-Low Joe first.
We also talk about choosing the right producing partners and the importance of that, having great crew and finding great crew. And we also talk about locations, finding the best locations that suit your film and why you should do that.
We talk about the amazing visual style that Knuckledust has, including the world building that's going on, setting up certain characters, geography, and shooting some of the amazing fight sequences, and trying to coordinate post-production during the lockdown this year.
And James Kermack also talks about how he was derailed by Christopher Nolan. You'll have to find out why. It's kind of fun. We also talk about his screenwriting process and directing yourself, because yes, not only is James the director and writer and co-producer of Knuckledust, he also stars in the movie himself. It's an incredible episode. James is so frank and honest and open, and you are going to love it. All of that is coming up.
So Giles, I hear on the Twitter sphere that Arthur and Merlin is out in America, out stateside. Is that true? Twitter
is correct on this occasion. Arthur and Merlin is available for you now in America and Canada. Congratulations for all involved for that. That's cool news. Cool as hell news. Obviously, if you're in the UK, you can watch the movie now anyway. Do go watch it. It's Arthur and Merlin if you like swords and sandals. If you like me talking about working in the rain.
Shot on location in Wales.
And talking of the rain, what a segue, Robbie. What a segue.
That's right, because you're into your final week shooting your new feature, The Stranger in Our Bed. And
yes.
How did it go today? Because it wasn't the best weather out there today, was it?
According to my app this morning, Dark Sky, which I would highly recommend to any filmmaker out there because it does specific.
It's pretty good.
From where you are. It's really good, except today. Because this morning I woke up and it said it's not going to rain until 6 p.m. So I thought, do you know what? I'll wear my nice white new trainers. I'll be fine. It's not going to rain. I arrive, it's pissing it down straight away. About 10 o'clock, full on, came down. And we're filming outside Harrods, by the way, which if you've ever tried to film anywhere around London, you kind of get moved on very quickly. Obviously, we had permits, but still, people will come up and go, what are you filming? You shouldn't be filming here. And the other thing is, obviously, you do have a lot of tourists. Even now, during COVID, there's still a lot of tourists, so they'll just sit and watch.
Yeah.
Which would be okay, except they all have masks on. So you don't really want masks in the background or walking about, so you have to politely ask them, would you mind moving? And we had to try and get a car pull up really outside the back of Harrods, where a load of taxis are moving constantly and people coming out. And the wonderful people of Harrods who work there have their lovely green outfits on. I don't know if you've seen them. There's amazing green outfits with gold writing that says Harrods. Now, every time we pull the car up, now this is Joseph, who is pulling up the car, Joseph Marcel, who is from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Of course.
And every single time the wonderful person from Harrods would come and open the door like they would for a normal shopper, and we're like, no, we're filming, please don't do that. I have to drive around again and pull up and try and get past taxis. It was quite a day, but we did get some amazing stuff, and we did shoot outside Harrods. We managed to do it. It did look amazing. My actors were brilliant and just stepped in and did it, even knowing I was like, quick, go now. We did get moved on from a few places, but we still managed to do it.
Amazing.
But you know what I've learned from all this and within this time is that we have an amazing crew, because de-rigging from every place we've been now, what I've seen is that because we are a man down in various places, everyone has stepped up and gone, oh, it's all right, I'll carry something. Don't worry, I'll help you. Don't worry, I'll do this. And it's been amazing to see that all my crew have done that. I've not seen one department not help another department. And even our exec producer, Greg, I'm not going to give his full name because that's not fair to him, but he's been fantastic. He's always been driving people about. He's always been on hand to pick something up, and always there right till the end as well, clearing up, as well as a guy called Andy, who's been our nurse, our COVID nurse. Like, he's been an amazing help. And it's been amazing to see that every department have just stepped up, even if they don't have to. It's not their job, and drive the vans and do this and do whatever it is needed to get the film done. And I've loved that. I've loved watching that, and I've loved being part of that team and everyone just getting stuck in and staying till late to do it.
Wow. It's amazing when that community spirit kind of comes out and your filmmaking family kind of are there. They've got your back. So that sounds amazing, man.
Even in the rain, everyone's just been enjoying it, and I have really appreciated that, and everyone's been amazing. But one thing people don't talk about a lot is de-rigging. De-rigging is where the glamour stops. If you thought there was any glamour in filmmaking, de-rigging kills it, because you've just had a great day of filming, you're over the moon, and then suddenly you've got to de-rig everything. It's okay if you're in one day locations, it's not the end of the world, or if people haven't settled. Like we were at the Manor House, after 2 weeks we were suddenly de-rigging everything. It was like moving home. Filmmakers out there who haven't done this yet, bear in mind, it's part of your job, and it's part of what you're doing, is you've got to stay to the end. When you think you've wrapped for the day, you've made all your shots or whatever shots you've managed to get, you've then still got to wrap up all the cables, however mucky they are, your hands are going to get dirty, you've got to put them all in the van. Yeah. You know, where does the rubbish go? Where do the boxes go? Where do all the, dirty clothes go? It's really difficult, and it's a full production to sort it out and make it amazing.
Obviously as directors and producers, we're always trying to shoot until the very last minute. So it's about understanding, which bits you can pack up last and trying to get everything else packed up before then.
I'll fill you in with some more information next week when I've wrapped.
We'll have a debrief on the D-rig.
We will. Oh, but also coming up next week, to let you lovely guys and girls know, is we have the amazing Kim and Amy Datnow, who talk about how they made their feature Daddy Issues. It is brilliant. Between them, they not only wrote it, starred in it, produced it, but they also probably wrote the theme tune. They are amazing. The film is out now. It's called Daddy Issues. Try and watch it before next week's episode. But if not, do listen to that episode next week. That's coming up for you.
We're also going to be having a special Christmas episode coming up on the 29th, where we're going to get the whole gang together, maybe do some quizzes, have a bit of fun.
Yes, we are. And you will love it. And those people who love this podcast will love it. And we'll have a laugh. We will have a laugh, for sure. We'll do even more than last week's episode with Jordan Waller talking about testicles. we might talk about more than testicles.
And obviously we're on episode 197, so we've got our 200th episode coming up, and we have a very special guest for that. Giles?
I'm not going to announce it, Robbie.
Whoa.
I'm not going to announce it yet. We do have an amazing special guest. Touch wood. That would be foolish to announce, but he has agreed, and I am over the moon that he is going to be our special guest on January the 5th for our 200th episode. Can you believe it? It's our 200th episode.
2021.
2021, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a better year for everyone. It really is. So we're going to start off with a bang with an amazing guest for our 200th episode. So do join us then. One other tip I will give you, what I've learned these last 3 weeks, is wear the right footwear. Like I say, my feet were soaked today because I chose the wrong footwear. And okay, my app said it wasn't going to rain, but still, I knew I was going to be outside all day, and I should have chosen better footwear, because there's nothing worse than having wet feet.
Well, I hope you've got your feet toasty up to the fire.
If I had a fire, Robbie.
I'm picturing you in a kind of Dickensian sort of, sitting room.
That was a delightful segue as well. Just right, ladies and gentlemen, whatever you're doing now, just relax, sit back, put your fire on, because Robbie's told you all you have one. So just light the match now.
Or your electric heater, or your hot water bottle, whatever you got.
Literally, whatever you've got. If you've got a match in your hand now, just flick it into the air and watch it land in your logs. which will just literally combust into a beautiful flame.
Gather up our portable fires.
And relax. Warm your toasty now feet and listen to our fantastic episode with James Kermack. Hello, mate.
Hello. How you doing?
Very well indeed. What's happening? You all right?
Yeah, good, man. How are you? How's filming?
It's going all right, actually, surprisingly. I had a few days off, so I feel quite refreshed now. I'm going back.
Days off? Jesus.
Hey, Robbie, how are you, buddy?
Yeah, not too bad, Giles. How's it going? You recovered
thanks.
yet?
Nope.
Sounds about right. I had to make sure everything in the background was aesthetically pleasing because we've only just moved house. So I was like, oh, it's really white walls. I can't be having this.
No, you can't. Mine normally looks much better, but to remove everything that's normally set up there, it looks nice. So
well, you look like a Nicholas Winding Refn film. You got a nice triangle kind of framing you, so it's nice.
All about framing.
Just needs some neon lighting.
Exactly.
Well, listen, James, it's an absolute honor to have you back on again. You were on episode 21, I believe.
Yeah. Early doors, man.
Early on this podcast process, back when we were, neither of us, you just had High Low Joe come out. I hadn't had The Dare out yet. Arthur and Merlin was just an idea, and I certainly hadn't started on The Stranger in Our Bed. So, yeah, it's been a really interesting journey for both of us. And we did meet very briefly at Directors UK once when we were on an intimacy course.
Yes, we were.
We were, which is important, really important
Yes.
as filmmakers to understand that. And what I learned from that is to treat it like an action scene. And you've got both action and actual, some sex scenes as well in Knuckledust. So did you bring everything, your journey to it as well, I suppose?
Yeah, with the intimacy scene. So I won't say who's in it, but we had a couple in the film, and yeah, it was just kind of like talk through absolutely everything. Make sure everything's really, everyone knows what's going on. The actors were really comfortable. Luckily, all the actors were super sweet, and there was never any problems with anything. And I didn't ask for anything insane, so that's always helpful. But yeah, everyone was just super cool. And tried to keep it very relaxed. So it's not. That was one of the two times we had that. I made sure that we didn't go over time on anything else. My AD was really good about that. And we made sure we had a set amount of time. The actors can relax into it, chilled. So it was a small crew on those days. So everyone on set was just relaxed, chilled out. And it just made everything go nice and smooth. Because I know they can be, having done them myself as an actor, they are awkward.
Yeah, they are. Me too.
Isn't there that famous Ang Lee quote where he said filming the sex scenes in Lost Caution was harder than filming the action scenes in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon? I think that's pretty much how he summed it up. Yeah.
I agree. I think it's true, and I think people do overlook it as it's a sex scene. Awkward. Yeah, just go and kiss and touch each other. And it's like, no. I spent longer, with those scenes, and I know my producer was like, Giles, you've got to move on. I'm like, yeah, but if I was doing a big fight scene here, you wouldn't be asking me to, speed this up. And I think the Me Too movement has changed everything massively within the safety of actors and actresses in that situation, where normally it'd be just, like I say, be like, okay, and for me, it was like that. It's right, Giles, you're naked and you're dry humping this, this girl, and you're kind of like, well, this is awkward. Whereas now it's changed massively. And we had an intimacy coordinator come on set.
Right.
And so even though the cast we've got, Emily and Ben, are a couple, I wanted to treat them as if they weren't an actual couple in real life, so that the intimacy coordinator was like, you put your hand here, are you okay with that? Okay, this is how you're going to get close. Knees going to touch here. You okay with that? And every step of the way was done like that. And I love it. I think it saves the whole awkward embarrassment of crew, of directors having to say this. Yeah. And it makes someone else do that, like a stunt coordinator coming on set. I think it's incredible.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the thing as well of keeping it. It is the same as any other scene. Like, it shouldn't be given all the build up. I think it's the build up as well that makes everyone go, oh God, what are we going to do here? Yeah. But I think if you don't have the build up, it's just you have the space and time, as you, in fairness, really hope for every scene. But as you know, you don't have the space and time for every scene. No. But I think it's just not building it up, not making it a massive deal. Because you want the actors to, it's the same with stunts, it's nerve-wracking for the actor to suddenly go, okay, we're doing a one take, you've got to go through 7 guys, don't mess it up, guys. Really don't mess it up, okay? Because you've got one take, don't mess it up. You got that? But if it's really nice and relaxed, it's kind of like they enjoy it, they get through it, and they're like, oh, do we need to go again? No, one take, let's just keep moving.
Yeah.
And that's what we tried to do with that as well. So it's kind of the build-up time was a bit more, give them a bit more space, but when shooting it, it was 1 or 2 takes each time, just move on.
Amazing. Let's dive into Knuckledust then, because it's your second feature film. It is a big step up in terms of budget, in terms of time, in terms of cast, in terms of everything. Hilo Joe was amazing, by the way. And those people who haven't yet listened to our episode 21, do listen to that, because that's where we talked to James about his career, about how we got to making Hilo Joe on a low budget. And we talked a little bit about Knuckledust, but here's where we're going to go deep into Knuckledust and making a bigger budget movie. So do you want to give us the pitch, and then Robbie will play the trailer and then we can dive in?
So basically the pitch is that it's Knuckledust is an action thriller. It's about an underground fight club, an elite underground fight club, where they're using the underclass, the working classes, veterans and stuff, to take them off the street, homeless guys, and getting them to fight for the rich, fight to their deaths. And the police, who've been trying to find this place for a very long time, turn up one evening after a mysterious phone call and find one man left alive amongst many dead bodies. And the rest of the film is 2 to 3 timelines where we see the interrogation of the man, who's played by Mo Dumford, by Chief Inspector Catherine Keaton, played by Kate Dickie, and what happened that evening. And then it's all kind of pieced together.
How is it downstairs, Father?
Busy and bloody, my child.
Listen carefully. You give us disposable men to fight to their deaths. I give you disposable income.
Means we're making money.
This is my world. I control everything in it.
Serena Marcos, a friend of yours.
Do I seem like someone who has a lot of friends to you?
He can't get through us.
Is this where you deliver a cool yet comical one-liner?
Nope.
Amazing. That was a trailer. The film is out now. You can go watch it. It is a cracking movie. It's literally cracking, but it's also absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed this. I thought the style was incredible. I thought the way it was shot was incredible. Performances were off the chain. I really enjoyed this movie, James.
Thank you, man.
I thought you excelled massively, not only acting in it, but actually directing, writing, and co-producing and producing the movie. I was like, I'm very impressed, and I think it's a really brilliant sophomore film. Is that the right word? Your second movie? Yeah. So talk us through how it came about, because I know you wanted to make this before you made Hilo Joe.
Yes.
And you made Hilo Joe to prove that you could make a movie, as we all did, and we all struggled. I did for 10 years, and my problem not making a movie, no one would let me make one, because I hadn't made one. So just go make one for low budget, which is what you did with Hilo Joe. So talk us through how you managed to raise the money, and it's substantial funds here, to get this film out there. What was the journey from Hilo Joe?
Well, yeah, so I wanted to do Knuckledust first. It was like the first screenplay I properly wrote. And funnily enough, we just moved house, and I found the first screenplay I ever wrote when I was 16.
Wow.
And it has got character names and aspects of this film in it. So oddly, I thought I'd started writing it about 8 to 10 years ago, but in fact, it's been about 2 decades.
Isn't it amazing how things like that just permeate in our minds, and they just
stay there?
And you find that, like, I found an old, this is like high school, and I found a really terrible script that we were trying to do in assembly the other day, but it is terrible. But the fact is that I was already writing there at 13, 14, trying to put stuff on, and actually some of the characters' no description is quite similar to what I still do now. Still terrible. But anyway, you know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this script was not good, and it will not be getting made. But, but yeah, it was interesting to see that it has been permeating for a really long time. And so what happened was I tried to get that up and running, but I tried to do it as a vehicle to kickstart my acting career. And that is very difficult to do for an unknown writer to write himself a role. I mean, it doesn't always end up with Avildsen and Stallone doing Rocky. You know, 99% of the time that does not happen.
Very rare.
And I got some really good advice a couple of years into it from a guy called Rob Mitchell, who's sadly passed recently, a really good guy in the industry. And he took me for a few beers and he said he loves the script, like it's very Tarantino and Rodriguez, and it's like it has its own kind of it's its own beast, its own style, and we absolutely love it. But you cannot play the lead. And we argued about this for a little while because obviously I was kind of like had pinned everything on doing this. But he gave me the advice of write yourself a really good supporting role, take more control producing it, and get a big lead actor or a great lead actor, and then finance it that way. He said you can't finance it on you. I was upset for a while, but it was the best advice that I'd been given at that point to get the film made. And so then we went to, I spoke to a few directors, and we actually discussed it with Tony Kaye, for a little bit of American History X, who was really interested in directing the film with me as the lead. Which was super interesting. I actually had to, a bit like we're doing now, because he was in LA. I had put together like a self-tape where I'd, got lots of SFX makeup on, written myself a monologue, and done it in a dark room, moody lighting, and sent it to him. And we're on the call, and he hadn't watched it yet. So he said, let's watch it now.
Oh, wow.
So I was watching Tony Kaye watching my self-tape. And I was like that. Okay, so my entire career hangs on this, and I have to watch it, which is horrific. Yeah. But he was like, great, I love it. Let's do this. Fantastic. Let's work together. But then that just didn't work out, which is a really shame because I really love Tony's work. I think he's a fantastic director. And so then I decided to take the reins to direct and push it more that way. But no one would let me touch this as a first film. Like it's too massive. And so I thought, I'll make something more personal, much smaller, more contained, and on the lowest possible budget I could do this on. And so I went off and raised the funds for Hilo, which in the end came out quite low on budget. And so did that. But then the problem became that Hilo is nothing like Knuckledust.
Nothing.
So people were like, oh, you make that type of film though. And I was like, oh, right, okay. But I made this so I could show you I can do that. And they can kind of like, well, that's very difficult to see. And you're like, yeah, that does make sense, actually. I should have done. But to do an action movie on Hilo's budget would just have been terrible.
Well, you couldn't have done it. But
No.
it's that really annoying thing where you go, well, look, I've proved myself. I've been in the trenches. I've made a feature. And it's really good. How much did you make it for-ish in the end?
Hilo?
Yeah.
I think it was like 40k cash.
40k. I mean, look what you achieved for 40k. I mean, it's massively impressive. But then, like you say, you then go, great, now let me make my next one. It's Knuckledust. It's an action. It's very Tarantino-esque. And they go, well, no, now you don't need to go make another one that's similar to Knuckledust. And you're like, hang on. It's this really horrible situation we're in as directors or filmmakers trying to move into the business. It's really hard. So what did you do? How did you prove that you could do this?
So basically what happened was I now work for a company called Futuristic Films with my business partner, Julien, who's fantastic. And he saw an early cut of Hilo when we were editing it at a place called Zebra post-production. And he was working there at the time. And it's mainly PR advertising and stuff like that there. And he just set up his film production company, Futuristic. And he was looking for films. He said he really loved Hilo. And we needed music, so they brought music to the film and came on as producers and really helped in that way. And then he said, have you got anything else? And I said, well, I had this script, Knuckledust, and him and his business partner read it, and they came back in 24 hours, and they're like, would like to take Knuckledust. I think it's fantastic. And I said, you can take it, but only if I'm attached as director, which I know makes it difficult. Because I'm, still not anyone here of note, and it's a big, ambitious film with a really large cast. And so, but I pushed on that, and they were cool with it. And so then they just kind of went, okay, let's do this. Let's really push for you as the director. Let's get this film made. And Julien has been amazing. I mean, he's, really been in the trenches together, getting this done. And it's been a long journey of like 4 or 5 years together. And lots of ups, lots of downs, and moments where we were offered really big US budgets, and then that goes away, and then suddenly you're back to square one again. It's kind of like, okay, let's restart this. Let's go again. As you know yourself, when you get those calls and it's like, yeah, we're doing this or we're doing that, and then it's just, oh, okay, cool. I'm still here with the project. Let's go again. And so we just went with that really, and just kind of pushed it. I mean, it's been a difficult film to make, and obviously you guys have watched it, so it's a big action. It's got twists and turns. It's very back and forth, different timelines. It's not an easy watch at all. And that was one of the aims. It was to do something where we kind of figured if it's fun enough in aspects as well, then the difficult stuff will be interesting, because you have the two sides of it. So it's not just, there are some really nice, dumb, fun moments in the film. But we really wanted to bring the kind of intelligent thriller layer to it as well. And I think that's what we've managed to kind of do.
It really is. I think the fun action side of it really comes across brilliantly well. It's that really lovely, from the off, you got that lovely sort of warm feeling. I know what movie I'm watching here. And you started with some absolute classic, brilliant opening titles, moving into an amazing opening shot, which makes you go, cool. I feel settled. I feel safe. This director knows what he's doing. It looks great. Let me just enjoy the ride. Robbie, how did you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say this is sort of quite exciting indie filmmaking, because it's like really pushing, getting as much as you can out of that budget and really kind of making the best use of some of those setups that you can. And yeah, I mean, I was just really impressed with the style that you managed to achieve, like at that budget level. As Giles said, you've got like that first gliding tracking shot up to the car, which immediately just puts you in sort of that sort of mood. And just some of the tonal kind of shifts and just moments of pause, like the moment just in the arena between, the two leads. There's just that kind of moment of calm where the music drops away, and that really gives you a sense of a bigger scale that is quite difficult to achieve on that budget level.
Yeah, it had elements of Edgar Wright. You mentioned Tarantino and Rodriguez, but the Edgar Wright for me, I think, was more of the push because of that English humor. I think came across massively, whereas Tarantino, it's a different style of humor. It's a humor that's, I don't know, not English basically. And here you brought that to it, and I really enjoyed it. Like I say, I think you've literally gone, hey, here I am. I'm James Kermack, and I've made an absolute brilliant winning sophomore movie, a proper movie with a budget. Give me more budget next time. Let's see what I can do, or even the same, you'll be able to do it again. And I think that's really, really testament to you. So before we get on to how you actually achieved what you did, keep going with your story, because it's really interesting of where you're battling for that sort of 4 or 5 year period of trying to get this made. How actually, with Laurent and Julian, your producers, how did you get the money? How did you actually piece this together?
So it was a lot of finance came in from different sources, and we just basically went out to absolutely everyone. And then we were really lucky. We had certain companies come on board who also brought their skills. So like, On-Site, we're a great partner on the film, brilliant post-production house. They've worked on some really massive films, like Ridley Scott and stuff like that. And then suddenly, you've got their expertise at hand, which was amazing, because obviously we did post during the beginnings of COVID. So it was all, for the first time, completely, every way that I thought we were going to do post was out the window. So I did, I'd say 80% of post on Zoom, as we are now.
Yes.
So that was hardcore, and On-Site were amazing. And then we had another company called Trigger, where Walter Mayer is the composer of the film, and he's a part of Trigger. And they brought finance, and his soundtrack is exceptional. Like we managed to work really, really closely. Again, even though everything was done on Zoom, he was getting voices from other countries and instruments from other countries sent over and recorded, and he would then put it all together. And so it's little things like there's lots of, you'll see on the opening credits, there's quite a few producers on
there was a lot, yeah.
Yes.
I did notice. I was like, oh, okay. All right, let's keep going. Another card with 4
Another
more.
card. Yeah. There's a lot, quite a few, we had obviously the primary producers in Futuristic and The Project. But we had quite a few people come on board with finance in that manner. and kind of pieced it all together. And Julien did an exceptional job with that. Because obviously all the finance hasn't come from, one studio, one area.
So your producer managed to piece that all together, and then with the tax fund sort of go, well, we've got enough to go make it.
Yes.
Which is great.
Well, yeah, I mean, Julien is a genius. Like, we were in Cannes a couple of years ago, and I was at a party, and someone said, "Oh, you're working with Julien?" And I was like, yeah. And they're kind of like, "Yeah, we call him the Stephen Hawking of film finance."
Wow.
And he's a good guy as well, which makes the real difference as well, because we work very closely together. Generally, it's just me and him in the office in the UK, and so we work through absolutely everything. And that's the other thing, because he's not just come on board as like a finance producer. He's come on board as a partner, and I've learned so much about finance and film finance from him, and we talk everything creative. So the whole thing, from the last 4 or 5 years of us getting it together, has been very much a push from me and him and futuristic to get it done. So it's by no means just myself.
I think that's really important what you've said there, how finding the right producers for you is vital. And not only that, but then getting on with them, because you've been in the trenches 5 years. With the Dare in total, I think it's been 6. If you're not friendly with those people, and you're not getting on with them as a business side as well as a personal side, you're going to be up against it, and you really have to. And I've been very lucky with my films, with Lucinda, and then before with Julien, and even on this one with Dean and Terry. It's just been wonderful. And I think it's kind of testament to you and maybe me in some way that we do have to get on with our producers and find the right people and find that balance of not always getting your own way, right? And sometimes going, Yep. Okay. Let me listen to you here. You know more than me on this.
I mean, it's tough, isn't it? It's like anything. You find you find your your wife or your partner or your husband or whatever. That's difficult. It takes years of work and dating, and then the stuff not working out, and then you find the right person. Yes, exactly. And then you find the right person, and you're kind of like, oh right, okay. This is really easy, actually. Oh, this is fantastic. And that's what it was like with Julien. We don't argue. We've never had an argument. There's always just a discussion of how we move forward with if there's a problem. And so that's been fantastic. So it's nice to, especially as a director, sometimes it's very lonely and difficult, because I try and make sure everyone feels like a family on set, and it's real teamwork and it's collaborative, and everyone kind of brings their own thing to it, and I really appreciate the things that they bring. But ultimately, the final decisions are mine or yours, and that is a lonely process sometimes, because it's kind of like, oh, right, I think this is the right decision. Yes, it is. We're going to say yes to the blue shirt. The blue shirt is correct. Take it. And then 2 seconds later, you're like, green. It's green. It's green. Go green. I'm sorry, everyone.
Yeah. People do forget that. They think it's not lonely there, or you'll have all these people with voices around you. But like you say, ultimately, it's your decision, and the film rests on you. If you choose to not do a close-up, or you choose not to do a sweeping wide.
In the film, obviously, it's a big film, and we shot it in 5 weeks.
5 weeks.
So, it's not a huge amount of time for this style of film. And, we were sending stuff through to the editors. We have 2 fantastic editors, Natasha Wilkinson and Chris Gill. Chris did American Animals, which I really loved. It was actually one of my lists of like editing for the film for style wise. And then on site put forward Chris Gill. So I was like, okay, sure, that'll do me. That's fine.
Exactly.
There's some amazing editing throughout, particularly with the elevators, the lifts, transitions of the opening doors, and obviously the cutting to the different floor numbers, which becomes relevant in the plot. But I just noticed that there's some really nice flourishes throughout.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Natasha and Chris did a fantastic job on this, and we were sending stuff through to Natasha every day, or the dailies, and she was kind of like, "So how many days worth is this?" And they were like, "This is 1 day." And then every day this would come through, and she'd go, "How many days is this?" "No, this is 1 day. This is 1 day's worth of stuff." So she was like, "But they've changed to 3 different locations, and it's multiple dialogue and an action scene." Yes.
This is what we do.
This?
Please edit it.
Make it look beautiful. Thank you.
Let's come back to locations, because I do want to talk about that. But let's talk about From there, are you allowed to say how much you made it for?
Yeah, we made it for $2 million.
Amazing. What an amazing achievement, by the way. Massive round of applause to you for going from 40K to $2 million on your second feature. Huge props. Well done. It's amazing. It's testament to the script. It's testament to you for keeping that fight going and believing in it, and your producers. Honestly, that's incredible. It's incredible achievement.
Thank
really
you.
Good. Well done.
That.
So you've managed to raise your money. You've managed to get that. Did any of that lay on any of the cast? Did you need to get certain cast members for certain money to get in place?
Not really. I mean, they helped, obviously, because we had certain cast attached very early. Like basically what I've done is pick up cast over the years.
Over the years
and kind of like
making sense. Well, Chernobyl for one, I imagine that's where you picked up Alex first, because you were in Chernobyl. Yes.
I was in Chernobyl, a very small role, which got cut, basically.
I did see you in it. You were in it, though, right? It was you
one
in
of the miners.
Yeah, I'm one of the miners, just over Alex's shoulder a lot.
But you and James Cosmo just either side of Alex.
Yes, exactly. And so James Cosmo had a speech at the beginning of the episode, and my first line came off the back of his speech. Then they cut his speech, in which case my line made no sense. And so then it was, see you later. But it didn't really matter because I got to meet Alex there. And I'd actually seen Alex in a show, a Sam Shepard play, True West, a couple of years before with a mutual friend of ours, Eugene O'Hare. They were both in it together. And it was a fantastic performance. And Alex was just off the chain, unbelievable actor.
He's a brilliant actor.
And he's amazing in Chernobyl. And so he's now with, best mates. He's like, godfather to my daughter. And like, he's super cool.
Nice.
He is... and I just said to him, would you come and do this? And we were quite lucky because he said yes. And then we got him just before everything kind of went mad for him, with the Batman and Star Wars and all this kind of stuff. And we had to really like fit him in. So he came in, he traveled down from Scotland on the morning after he won the BAFTA in Scotland the night before to come and do his first day's filming.
Wow.
It was just unbelievable. Like amazingly pleased for him. It's just so cool. Everything that's kind of happening for him. And, he's such a working actor, and he has been for a really long time, that to see it does pay off. If you're a good person, you're a good actor, and you spend this long in the business, at some point it pays off. And so we were super lucky to get him.
You are. And I think that goes across the board for filmmakers as well. If you're hardworking, you're a nice person, nice enough, you still got to be ruthless in terms of getting things done. You do have to move forward and don't expect anyone else to do it for you. But if you're good and you work hard, things will pay off for you. They will, like it has done with you.
I hope so. And that's how it happened. Alex and then a few of the other actors, we premiered Hilo in Dinard, the film festival, and Kate Dickie was there and Phil Davis was there. And obviously I'm huge fans of Kate and Phil because I was a judge for the first ever Shortcuts film festival, and Phil had directed a short that was there, and Kate was in a short called Operator, which I think also won a BAFTA.
Operator's a great short.
It's a great short. Fantastic in it. And so when that was all over, obviously, after the judging was done, so there was no conflict, I kind of approached them both and had a drink with them, and they were absolutely adorable. Just said, can I send you a script? If you don't, because they really liked Hilo. So I said, can I send you a script? If you don't like it, that's cool. They said, yeah, sure. And then I told them, and I said to Phil, look, can I just say this now? I'll never say it again. I'm a huge fan of your performance in Face. It's one of my favorite films. I talked about Face for like 30 minutes at him.
Because he won't say it again.
And then I said, and then we'll get professional. I'll be well professional on set, but I really love Face. Thanks so much.
I would have talked about Alien 3, his tiny role in that.
It's really difficult to pick a film, isn't it, with him? Because you're just like, he's such a he's an absolute legend. Brings a real kind of credibility to the film, as do all the actors, actually, because they're all really respected actors. We've done really well. Kate Dickie, Mo Dunford, I think, has got 1 or 2 BAFTAs, and Alex has got a BAFTA now, and you're just kind of like, oh, cool.
Yeah. Welcome. So you're on set and you go, I'd like to welcome BAFTA winner over here. I'd like to win BAFTA winner over here. If you could all just come in the middle and I'll give you my magic of what to do. Yeah, amazing. That's kind of cool, isn't it? And then you got Gethin Anthony in there, who was obviously in Hilo Joe as well. As a sort of a friend as well, you've brought in. He's fantastic in this movie. And it took me a while to realize that was him. And it was such a weird one because the wig is so like out there. And I was like, okay. I was like, oh, that's Gethin. Of course. Right. It just took me a beat.
That's fantastic.
Really cool.
He's brilliant in it. And obviously, because he's a very respected kind of serious actor. So, you know, to get him in a Chuckle Brothers mustache and a mullet, dressed like, you know, he's just an extra in Miami Vice was fantastic.
With a West Country accent.
Yeah, he went full force for it, and it was just fantastic. And the great thing is, because he's such a good actor and a credible actor, it's a real performance. It's not like a comedy performance. It's a real character who just happens to have a mullet and a mustache and a West Country accent.
Yeah, it's irrelevant, isn't it? Yeah, it's about the performance, which is great. Amy Bailey in there, who I'd worked with years ago as well. She was fantastic. Jamie Winston, Camilla Rowe. She was a find, wasn't she?
Oh, Camille's amazing. Yeah, Camille came through contact with the project, Laurent Fumeron, our other co-producer. They did great there because obviously it's a difficult part, you know, to play cool and to play badass and sexy and kind of everything rolled into one. It's that kind of noir 40s kind of enigma role, but in color. And she was fantastic. And, you know, she's a big model. She's she's huge. She was one of the people I was kind of like nervous potentially about working with because I didn't know her at all. And I knew most of the other actors coming on board. And so we just had a Skype together, and she is just the most delightful person you've ever discussed anything with, puts you at ease straight away. And the great thing is when she comes on set, she is just positive. There's a great energy about her, which she permeates and gives to everyone else. And it's very relaxed. And you're just kind of like, it's a joy to have her on set. I think she has a great performance in the film. Yeah, I'm super pleased with her actually, because it was one of the only actors that, along with Jamie actually, that I'd never met or worked with previously.
But we know of Jamie's work. Like you say, Jamie Winston does have that reputation. She's fantastic. You know what she's going to deliver. Even on a bad day, she's brilliant. So therefore, with Camille, you suddenly went, well, actually, I'm not sure. And that can be quite, especially for a role as big as it is, it can be quite frightening. You suddenly go as a director, how am I going to do it? Especially when you haven't got much time on set, no rehearsal time as such. Suddenly you're going, I've got to get a performance out of someone. But it seems like, you know, from what I could see, that she was already on it.
Well, it was the joy of working with complete professional actors, you know, and I don't mean non-professional actors, I just mean like they're professionals. Like every single actor came on set. You know, there was never a call for line. There was never like, you know, we discussed stuff, you know, what do you think here and stuff, but it was never like they're out of character in a scene, or that all of them were on point every single time. And it really helped, obviously, because, you know, shooting a massive film like this on a smaller time frame was tough. You know, there was no time for the actors to kind of be like, I think, you know, this, and we should, you know, and we'd actually had many of these discussions before, because I tried to have a discussion with each actor before we even shot the film, whether it was via Skype or in person, to go through the character, why I'd written it, how I felt it was meant to be, any kind of backstory. So everyone was kind of prepped before we actually got on set.
There's another actor in this who I'd like to talk about. It's called James Kermack. And
of course.
I wanted to know how you managed to direct yourself, because you're in this a lot, actually, more than I thought you would be as a sort of cameo role in terms of, it's very hard. How did you go about that? Because it's fascinating for me, because people always say to me, Giles, why don't you put yourself in your movies, you know, but you're acting, of course you could do that. I've always sort of shied away, but I'm fascinated to know how you did it, because you are great in the movie as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, I've done a lot of music promos, directing, and then putting myself in them, usually for budgetary reasons. So you're kind of like, you know, we'd have to pay another actor to come in for the day, and everyone's working for free anyway, and it's a free shoot. Okay, I want to get a good actor. Do you know what? I'll just do it. Just save a bit of time. Let's just move forward. Always knowing that I'd quite like to, you know, direct myself into something one day. And so what happened was we had actually cast someone in that role. I wasn't going to be in it at all.
Wow. Okay.
And then there was a little problem with scheduling. So we moved the actor, and then I was like, you know what, we're right down to the end here. This was the role that I'd taken the advice from Rob Mitchell to write for myself anyway.
Just in case.
So I was just like, do you know what? I'll just do it. I already know the role. It's a huge cast as it is. And because he's on set a lot, I was like, well, we know I'm on set.
And if you need to pick it up at any point, you go, well, I'll do that on a day when it's quieter.
Yeah. And so the good thing was, to direct yourself, I was in my head kind of thought, well, if I'm directing an actor, I'm going to have discussions with them in between scenes, and am I doing this, blah, 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 and little comments here and there. If I equate that to looking at the monitor to see what the scene looked like, it's the same amount of time. So in fact, it was just kind of like, as a timescale thing, it'll be the same. I never have to give myself any kind of chat. So it was just kind of
there's
like,
you in a corner talking to yourself. James, you've got to do it better.
James,
no, I don't, James. I'm doing it fine.
You've got to be better in this scene, dude. Jesus, I'm calling my agent.
Sounds like a film in itself.
That'll be my next film. That's fine. Much lower budget. And it actually really helped on this film because of the schedule. So I wanted to shoot all of the interview stuff in sequence first. That's the first stuff we shot because I really wanted that's the backbone of the film. And so I wanted the Kate's character and Mo's character and Kate and Mo to feel really comfortable in where they were going on the journey. So we shot that on sequence. But obviously, as you see in the film when people watch it, the first interrogation bit is my character and Jamie's character and Dave Bibby's character, who's also fantastic in it, playing Hooper as the coppers. And so the first scene that we did was me and my close-ups to get the scene. And so
everyone's like, what? Come on, he's just doing this for him.
Come on, this guy.
This guy.
But it was good because I said to my fiance the night before, I was like, because we were running lines and I was kind of like, right, I can't say line. I never say line because I have to set the tone for how this runs for the rest of the shoot. So I have to be completely 100% on point. There must never be a line. Like I already obviously knew the shots that we'd wanted. So it was just kind of like, I just want to bang, 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 cut, move on, cut, move on. Because obviously it's me in shot saying cut. So it'd be like, kind of intensely looking at Mo's character, being like, yeah, do you know what I mean? This is what's going to happen. Cut. Okay, fantastic. Can we just have a look at that, please? I just want to see if that works in frame. So it's an interesting process in that sense as well. I always think it's good for directors to act, not just in their own films, but like generally, because I think you understand a great deal about what actors are going through. And it's not an, especially with the time pressure and you're like, can we go fast? Not can we go faster, but like crew needs to move faster. AD's like, we need to get this shot. And you need to make sure that the actor is settled and calm and just doing their thing. So yeah, it was interesting. And it is actually a really big part in the film.
It is.
Yeah.
That's quite a good example of leading by example, I guess, is that as you said, you set the tone for the rest of your team going forward. So that in a way that probably made them respect you more, that you were sort of putting yourself in this position of vulnerability, being the kind of icebreaker going first. Well, I mean, if
I'd have screwed it up, I think it would have been awkward.
Were you really nervous then going into that first day?
Not at all. I mean, I was so ready for it. I've been so ready for it for so long. And because it was doing so much on day one, and I was so concentrated on the directing and the framing and everything I wanted to happen, that there was no actual nerves as an actor at all on this, which is really rare, obviously. Every time, I haven't acted on theatre and anything for a long time, but you always get those nerves and the butterflies. But there's just so much going on that I was like, I need to get the shot. And that's the most important thing. Does the shot work? Does what's going on in the shot work? Great. And it kind of consistently separated myself from it. It's only like later on when we're further into the edit, I was kind of like, this McCready guy needs to be over there. And it's just like, that's you.
That's you.
This is you. Just say, I need to be over there.
Yeah, but you can't.
Like, you can't, because it's a separate thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting.
And how much did you talk with your DP, Pat Oldinger? How much did you talk with him beforehand? How much prep had you done?
We've done a lot. So him and his team came from Germany. Marco and Conrad, and they were fantastic. So they came and stayed for pre. So they were here for 3 weeks of pre with me from Germany. So we were together every day. We'd do all the recce's together, and we prepped everything. And there was some stuff that, we didn't end up doing in the film, because obviously you get on set and you're kind of like, do you know what? This doesn't work in situ. So let's try something else. For instance, I know one of Pat's favorite scenes in the film is where Chris Patrick Simpson, who plays Not Now Nigel, and Gethin, playing Jeremiah, are having this argument, and we kind of like whip pan back and forward. And we did that in, I think, one take, maybe 2 takes, because time was against us. And we were kind of like, right, it's going to take this amount of time to do all the setups and it looks really nice. And we were like, do you know what? Let's whip pan it. Whip pan the whole thing. Pat was like, yeah, okay, let's whip pan it. And so basically what would happen was my fantastic first AD, Chris Malin, who basically I do everything with and it couldn't do without, if I'm honest. He was reading the script. Pat had the camera. And because we wanted the camera to move literally at the end phrase of a line to get there in time for the beginning of the next line, he would just tap him. And that's how that scene came about, and we got it. And it's one of my favorite scenes because I think it's really well acted.
Isn't it interesting how scenes you can plan and prep as much as you like, but actually when you're in situ, there's something else that comes up that whether it's time or necessity, or actually you see something better. Often they're the best things in your movie, the ones you like the most.
Yeah. And they're the most they're exciting as well. I mean, like, you know, for the actors who are kind of like, oh, right, okay, we're not doing setups, let's do it. Let's do it in one.
I like doing one-ers. I like doing moving masters as much as I can. I think if I get a great moving master, I sometimes then don't need to pop in for close-ups because it ruins the moving master for one. But also you go, well, it's not important. What's important is you got it. You've got the story and you need to move on to the next scene. But you got a lot to shoot, you know. We're shooting this one in 4 weeks and it's really tough, 5 weeks. I can totally understand why. You've got the action, it's a long film as well, and you've got a lot going on. And let's jump. Robbie, you had a brilliant question.
Yeah, so I just want to talk a bit about the visual style, and I was wondering if that was sort of there in the script from the get-go, because obviously there's a lot of world building in this film. There's a lot of you kind of establishing a lot of the characters earlier on. We've got that kind of similar to Guy Ritchie's Snatch. You've got the nameplates coming up at the start, and then you're also establishing the geography of the main location, the Knuckledust Club, with all of the different lift floors and the different kind of departments, levels of this organization. And it's all lit with the neon colors. So there's sort of flavors of. We talked about Nicholas Winding Refn earlier. There's kind of flavors of that sort of style, and then there's kind of flavors of John Wick in there as well. So the kind of clandestine organization. How much of that was sort of in the script from the get-go, and how much of it sort of came through in the production?
In the script. So for a long time, I put a pitch book together a long time ago, and the film looks like the pitch book, which is we're really happy about. And so the neons have been there for quite some time, and the style, I really wanted to go for like a hyper stylized kind of look. I think it's something that is very American. And not done too much in Britain. And that's, we really wanted to go for it's got a very British tone, especially with the comedy. But we wanted to go for that kind of gritty, dirty, Americanized kind of style, but where you have this kind of level of class, because obviously it's very rich people in this club. So there is a level of class to the film as well. But yeah, all that was there, the fights and stuff were there. Everything was kind of in the script, because I really wanted it to be able to inform people as much as possible, whichever department it was. So every HOD we ended up hiring really got the film from the packages I sent and the script, which was really helpful. So it meant we're all on the same page straight away.
Well, you've got Anna Papa, who's doing my film now, The Stranger in Our Bed.
Yes,
your recommendation as well, which is really lovely because she is fantastic.
I recommend her for everyone. Her and her team are amazing. What they did was insane. These were just bare rooms. They're just bare rooms. And, there was the police station in the police office where all the coppers sit. I mean, when I came into that and I told her what I wanted to go for like a 70s, 80s American kind of like, Hill Street Blues kind of thing.
It looks like the office in Blade Runner that Harrison Ford goes to with his boss, which is all kind of run down, and there's the moody lighting.
Everything's kind of 10 years behind now. So like there's VHSs in there and old TVs and stuff. And I absolutely loved that. And so we really wanted to go for that kind of like, which era is this? So it's kind of our own world, which is definitely what we wanted to go for. And so Anna was, fantastic. Watched it. I was very lucky with the HODs I got on this, because Anna and her team really stepped up with absolutely everything. Everything has its own, every room has its own world
character,
and character, which I really wanted. And it was the same with costume with Cynthia. What she did was unbelievable.
Yeah, and even in the sort of the smaller side characters, like someone like TikTok, who's just like one of the many plethora of characters that you've got on display. He's got like an incredible costume and his own he's sort of instantly recognizable with all of the accessories he has and the watch. And
that was one of the characters that people, whilst trying to get the film made for a long time, were kind of like, it's a cowboy. It's a cowboy. And I was like, yeah, it's a cowboy.
Cowboy, yeah.
It's a cowboy. It's super cool. Yeah, but it's a cowboy and there are no other cowboys and it's not the Wild West. And I was like, yeah, it's a cowboy. It's cool. It's super cool. And
you just explained it. Yeah, it's a cowboy.
It's a cowboy. I don't understand what the problem is here, guys. This is very simple. It's a cowboy. We all know what a cowboy is. And so what we did with Cynthia is...
but I think because Sebastian Foucan as well, because he kind of... Obviously, is he French, North African? Or he brings his own sort of new spin on it, so it's not just a cowboy, really. So
yeah, exactly. I think if we'd have cast, like a really American guy, you'd be like, okay. But he has his own style.
And you get that cross-pollination of cultures sort of going on, which really adds to the uniqueness of the world.
I imagine that you had so many storyboards and visual references that you gave to your costume and art department.
Yes, so we put together entire mood boards, pitch books, all kinds of stuff so that everyone felt like they knew exactly what was happening, what was going on, and everyone was on the same page. And then everyone brought in their own pitch books, which were like, added on to mine, which was like, fantastic, this is great.
It's really nice when people do that, isn't it? You suddenly go, oh yeah, that's cool, and then you can choose and go that one and that one, and it's really lovely, isn't it?
Well, suddenly you're kind of like that's I like that's fantastic. So I mean, with TikTok, as soon as we cast Sebastian as well, we went for like a sapper look, which I think is like a French Congolese really cool style, and they have these wide brimmed hats and they look like fashionable modern cowboys. So we merged the cowboy look with that on Sebastian, and it looks realistic. Like you don't go, oh, there's a guy looking like a cowboy. You go, oh, it's TikTok, that's cool.
Yeah, and really original as well for like a henchman character.
And that was one of the things we really wanted to do, was make sure there were no everyone in black suits, henchmen, faceless kind of henchmen. Really wanted everyone to have their own individual character, and ideally, you'd want to follow the journey of any one of these characters. Is kind of the aim.
And I think you definitely pulled that off. I think it's really interesting. I want to know more about these people, this world. It's very like Kingsman. You kind of like, I want to know more. Where do they come from? What's happening? And I think that's testament. And let's talk about the locations then, as we touched on before. Where did you film this? And were a lot of your locations in the same place?
We filmed in various places. We filmed in a place in Harrow. We found like it's one kind of area with all these different warehouses and stuff. Yeah. And so we kind of, every room we went into, I was like, okay, we could shoot this here. Okay, we can shoot the police station stuff in this building. And it became like a mini studio.
Nice.
It was really cool. And then we shot all of the Fight Club stuff in, not all of it, but a lot of it at the very bottom in the other building around the corner. We shot a lot of exterior stuff for the police station and the club in the same space.
Perfect. How did you find it, for one? And also, what was it before? Because I'm like, this space was incredible. As soon as you walked in and you had that lovely sort of steady cam shot, and you're going around, I'm like, this is great. This really shows off the space. Wow, what a find, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're very lucky. I had a fantastic locations manager and scout called Noor, who was wonderful, and just went and found, because again, it's a huge film for locations. There's lots of different locations. Yeah. So again, it was kind of like, okay, that's another huge thing that James wants. We shot a lot of stuff in Knightsbridge somewhere, a tower block, which is amazing for a lot of that stuff. And the opening scenes with Phil Davis.
Knocking on the door and going in.
Pulp Fiction scene.
Yeah, the Pulp Fiction scene.
Yeah. There was a lot of nods to other films. I noticed Old Boy being one massive film. I was like, cool as fuck. He's just gone, the Old Boy bit. It was great though. There was a lot of nods to other movies, and I like that a lot. I think that's important as filmmakers. We do that. I think it's just nice. But what was it before? What was the location?
Giles, it was an underground fight club.
There we go. Thank you.
For the businessmen of Harrow.
Yeah, that's where they keep all the underground fight clubs. We put a call out on Facebook, and they were like, "Yeah, we've got a fight club here."
Just can't talk about it. Yeah.
Just don't tell anyone about it.
We should do a fake documentary on the old London fight clubs of the 1800s, with kind of a Victorian.
Was it disused? I'm going to talk more about this space. Was it disused? It was before you got there. Was it kind of out of action?
I think it hadn't been used for a little while.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because you were really smashing it up as well, especially the lift. Did you build the inside of that lift?
Anna and her team had the lift built from scratch.
Amazing.
Because obviously we have a fight sequence in the lift. We were able to take the sides off, take the roof off, which is really helpful. Pete Pajero and his team and Pat Aldinger, the DP, did a fantastic job of, to make it really feel like you're in this elevator. Got some great angles on there.
Yeah, and you need to support the weight of people throwing in it, and you do damage property if it's not a set build. And I think that's important that you did that there. And I take it there wasn't a lift in the building?
No, there wasn't. And also try to find a vintage looking 1930s 50s kind of style lift that people will allow us to completely tear apart. On insurance was rare, so that was unlucky. So we had to basically build this lift and connect 3 to 4 locations. I think it's 4 locations in the end as one. And so the lift was really integral to the film. And I always knew that. I was always adamant that we need this elevator, because without it, we can't connect, because when the doors open and Camille enters into the main arena, that's not connected to the other spaces. So without that, there's no connection. And I think it's very easy to get confused about where you are within the club.
And that goes back to part of that setting up the geography at the beginning. You kind of immediately know, okay, that goes to that area, and that really helps with some of the action sequences later on.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking of action sequences, great segue, Robbie. The fighting and action in this film is incredible. Obviously, you mentioned Peter Pedrero there, who is a stunt choreographer and stunt fighter, and he is in the opening of the movie as well. Did you go to great lengths to get this right? Because obviously you do fighting yourself. You do MMA, right? Is that correct? Or
I used to box.
Yeah.
In no way well. But yes. Was this something that you really want to bring to this film to make sure that the stunts and the action looked as good as it does? Yeah, I mean, there's a discussion we had with Pete early on. I met Pete doing a film called Absolutely Anything with Simon Pegg, where he's a stunt coordinator on that. Yeah, the discussion was basically I didn't want to shoot the fights really tight, really close up in the dark, which I see with a lot of films where you can't see the fight. And I wanted to shoot the fights as very, brutal, but kind of beautiful things. So they're their own beast. So the idea was always to look at the fights as a different kind of musical number. To give it a different fight style, a different mood, a different look. We try and make sure the audience can see exactly what is happening within each fight sequence. We have the S&M corridor, which is like 3 minutes.
The S&M corridor, I love that.
And that was a big day that we shot that in, and it's its own thing. Whenever I speak to people who've seen the film, that is for them its own thing within the film. And so Pete and his team did a fantastic job on making sure we can see the fights. They're
lit in a way that you can see them. Like you say, it feels like we're on the ground, but it's lit really well. I think
it's not just flat lighting. It's like fluorescence coming from overhead. It's still dramatic cinematic lighting, but you can still, as you say, clearly see what's going on within the space, which I appreciated.
Yeah, I appreciate it a lot too. And I do think that has why I wanted to talk about location, because I think a lot of filmmakers can forget about location, not forget, but go, oh, this will do. And then you get in it and you're like, this is not big enough. And what I liked about your movie was it felt big. It felt like you were in these rooms and these spaces, and you could move a camera around, you could move actors around. I'm sure there's rooms where it was really small, but it felt the right size. And I think filmmakers do forget that. You need it to be bigger than you think, because if you're laying a track and then you've got a camera with battery on the back and a big lens on the front, well, you're already lost, perhaps 2 meters from that room. So
yes.
It's like when Danny Boyle was doing Shallow Grave, they deliberately spent like half of the budget on the flat that they got so that they could get a massive Edinburgh flat, just because he knew that's he'd have that issue.
Yeah. Obviously, you get stuck. I mean, we found it on high-low. There are certain, and we were shooting in an old pub. So it's kind of like there is space, but equally, I want to do a 5-minute one-take shot across the entire pub, and you've got to go up an old stairwell. So good luck. And it's kind of like, you've got to also go through this doorway, and this doorway is thin.
Britain is full of small, awkward spaces.
Awkward spaces.
Part of our national heritage.
It's a good name for Britain.
Yeah, small awkward people as well.
Small awkward spaces, the biography of Britain. So it's great to have some space, to give it some size. I mean, we shot the main space stuff in Collins Music Hall in Angel.
Oh yeah, okay.
Which is like an old underground theatre.
Yes, it is.
And it's beautiful, and it's exactly what I wanted. So basically, we were actually going to shoot as part of the journey I've not mentioned, but we were scheduled to shoot the film in Estonia up until last year. For 2 years, we'd done all the scouting and
following in Christopher Nolan's footsteps.
Well, I'll bring you to Christopher Nolan right now. So,
yes, talk about that guy.
We were set to shoot in Estonia, and basically, I had found this massive, brilliant amphitheater to shoot the fight sequences in, and I had storyboarded it, and I was really happy with it, and I thought it was going to look amazing. That's where the VIP area within the film came from scouting that location. And we finally called our Estonian producers and said, "Hey, we're greenlit, we're good to go, we're ready. Let's discuss." And they were like, "That's fantastic, congratulations. Minor problem. Chris Nolan loved the amphitheater, and he's now using it for Tenet."
Oh,
so that opening, and it looks beautiful. I mean, it's Chris Nolan; he's a legend, and he had I think he had a slightly bigger budget.
Slightly bigger budget.
I think it was a bit more, just a tad though.
Yeah. And, filming on IMAX cameras, it's
Yeah, I think the cameras are more expensive than Knuckledust. And so he was filming there, and it would clash, and so we were like, right, okay, let's move it all to the UK. So that's when we moved everything to the UK.
And you shot in summer, right? Late summer?
We shot October, November.
So almost a year, which is a really decent turnaround,
Especially considering the pandemic.
And the amount of effects, I imagine, or the certain elements of this movie that aren't that easy. The music was outstanding as well. And you had all those elements in place that can take time. So it's really nice that you had a quick turnaround on this, quick enough. A year is a good amount of time. We all want them to come out straight away, but...
Yeah, I mean, we really wanted to stick to, even disregarding the pandemic and everything, we had given clear dates when we'd deliver, and we wanted to make sure we delivered on time, exactly when we said, regardless of what was occurring. So it was, we delivered in the summer, I think. So it was kind of like a 6-7 month turnaround of the film. And so it was interesting because it was kind of like, okay, pandemic, I see what you're doing. I can do this. Let's do most stuff with Zoom. And then I finally got to do, studio stuff. So we got to do some ADR and stuff at Art for Noise. They did a great job on the sound design. So that was fun because it was like I hadn't seen anyone for 3 months.
So to get in a room and just play was, it's a joy, isn't it?
It was a joy. You forgot what it was nice to do a bit of ADR.
I had to do the whole of Arthur Merlin post in lockdown, and it was really difficult. I love being in a room with someone talking about music, talking about how the sound design and all that, and it was a shame not to do that. I did do the edit. It was just before, but and it's difficult, isn't it? It's not as easy. So I'm glad you did get to do some together in a room, because you really want to do that. We haven't talked about the amazing animation, people on fire. You've got a deaf character in there, and explosions, and the amazing twists. We haven't talked about those, and maybe we shouldn't. We'll leave that to our audience to watch, because that is teasers for you in itself. But I did want to talk about what you learnt as a director, more than being an actor in this. What you took from your first film, you brought onto this, and what did you learn that you're going to take forward to your next film? From the first film to the second film, it was definitely like what the time. I think it's the time, what it takes to make a film, and the
the absolute input it takes, not just from yourself, but from everyone. It's such a collaboration. And I really wanted to make sure Hilo felt like a family unit whilst we were shooting the film. And I really brought that onto Knuckledust. I really wanted everyone to feel that which it does, their opinion matters when we're discussing stuff. Because like we said at the very beginning, ultimately it comes down to my decision. So ultimately it's me to say yes or no. But that doesn't mean that can't come from anywhere. And it's, even my first AD, Chris Malin, he's a super creative guy. He's a really funny writer. And he would come up to me and say, do you mind if I, what about this? And I was like, dude, that is a fantastic idea. Let's reset and let's go for this. And I think it can come from anywhere on set. And I think as long as you have an open set, in the sense of everyone feels like their ideas are welcome, then you will make a more collaborative and inclusive film in that sense. And everyone feels like it's their movie, which it is. It's our movie. More than anything, because everyone brought so much to it, that Knuckledust belongs to everyone who worked on it, I think. So I think that's what I took from the first to the second. And I think from the second to the third, hopefully it's the same, but just on a bigger budget. I really saw, I've never directed a fight feature before. So you see a very visually ambitious fight feature where I also didn't want just to sit, put all the emphasis on the fights. I really wanted to give the actors something to really get hold of and get their teeth into and kind of own those characters. And so there's a lot going on. And I think as moving on to the next one, ideally, I think it's just the timings. You go, okay, I need this for a fight. I need this to really get the actors settled and, not pushing too far. But that comes with, larger budgets. That's just always the way, I think I've achieved exactly what I wanted to on the film, which was put a great team together. We shot everything that I wanted to shoot. It's a film that we were told, many times that we couldn't make. It's too ambitious. It's too big. James is a nobody. Like we can't believe that James visually can do this and have it in his head and put it on the screen. And I think that stuff is all up there. So for me personally, I'm very proud of it. And I'm proud of everyone who worked on it.
As you should be.
It's so lovely to hear. Yeah, honestly, it's a brilliant film. Knuckledust is out now. Do go watch. Do go support. It's indie filmmaking at its finest. It's a brilliant action comedy. You're going to love it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to your next film 100%. Are you already writing that now? Are you in the throes? Are people throwing scripts at you? Are you battering them from your door? Agents going crazy outside? People think, though. People do think that's going to happen. And actually, you've got to make your own luck and work, haven't you?
Yeah, you've got to make your own luck. I mean, no agents are calling. I check my phone 8 times a day, but there's no calls yet. I'm working on a few things at the moment. I'm working on a TV show actually with the guy who did the animation in Knuckledust.
Great.
So we're putting together a TV show at the moment, and there's a couple of films that I'm also putting together. One of which is a Western. So I'm very excited.
Cowboy in you.
Get all the cowboys this time. Not just the one.
Great. That's exciting, mate. Good luck. Just quickly talk about your screenwriting process. Do you write a treatment out? Do you have stickers on your wall, or do you just splurge it out? What do you do?
I usually, so at the moment, if you can see there, I have everything up on the wall. So basically, I make lots and lots of notes on lots of different little pieces of paper. And then I kind of put the little pieces of paper all down and then kind of pick. This goes here, this goes here. These 3 characters are one character. Put them all in their little piles and then start to work from there. I usually have an opening scene, and that's and a set piece. So a set piece usually comes. So for instance, with Knuckledust, the dildo fight, the S&M scene, that's been there for a very, very long time.
I just love how you casually throw that in. It's like,
just
of course,
throw that
the
in.
well-known, well-established dildo fight in Knuckledust, yes.
Yeah, that one.
Can't wait for 50 years' time film scholars to be talking
I can't wait to show my kids. So dildo nunchucks were in there for a very long time. I think that might have been one of the things where people were like, you can't, maybe they weren't saying you can't make this film. Maybe they're like, you can't make this film, but it's on screen now. So, it's coming into people's homes.
Which is so cool. Where can people find it then? Obviously, it's out now. Where's the best place for them to actually watch it?
It's on Amazon and iTunes, definitely. It's on quite a few different platforms. US, Australia, New Zealand on the 8th, UK on the 11th, Canada in January, I believe, and we sold worldwide. So, I mean, it has its Russian release coming up, which is exciting.
Well, it's because it's one of these films that will sell worldwide. You know, you've got enough of the names in there to sell, but also because it's an action sort of thriller, if you like, comedy action, and people love them. They sell. They do really well. If you do them well enough, and you really have done this very well. I'm very proud of you. I think you've done incredibly well, and I can't wait to keep talking about your next ones and see what happens. Be another 2 years, maybe. Hopefully less. Hopefully less to get you back on.
It's like 4 or 5 years between Hilo and this one, so I'm hoping, half it.
Half it. Let's half it. But let's double your budget. Double your budgets every time and half the time each year. So eventually it'll be like 2 months you'll be coming on. I've just done another one now, so I'll be like, have you?
Yeah, exactly. Charles, can I come on again?
No.
No. Yeah. I shot that film about me as an actor talking to myself.
Exactly. Yeah, that
you guys want it?
I shot that on my iPhone in the next lockdown. Brilliant. James Kermack, this has been absolutely essential, and thank you so much for joining us.
No worries, buddy. Thanks so much for having me.
Pleasure. Where can people find you on the socials? Where can they bother you and give you some stick and also some love?
They can find me at jkermack on Instagram, and they can follow Knuckledust on at Knuckledust Movie on Instagram.
Amazing. There you go. You can follow me at Giles Alderson. Robbie?
You can follow me at Robbie McCain.
You can follow us at Filmmakers Pod on Twitter or on the gram, the Filmmakers Podcast. Do follow us there or on our Facebook, and you'll see all our latest info. Go to our Patreon page and you'll get some of our fantastic extras as well. Do that. We will see you next Tuesday as always. And remember, if you're lucky enough to rise up and do well, it is your duty to send the elevator, or in James Kermack's case, you can send it down and up and down.
Send it to the secret floor.
And you can have a fight in it if you like. So do that and go out there and make your indie film. You can make it happen. You can do it, as James has done. Until next Tuesday, when we will see you then. Take care, everyone. Bye, James. Bye, Robbie.
See you later.
Bye, folks.
Thanks, guys.